If heaven is hard to define, the concept of hell is a bit more straightforward. Only one problem. It is mentioned only a handful of times in the entire Bible, and not always with quite the same meaning. And to complicate matters, sometimes a word that is translated hell in one place is translated differently in other places. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Saturday, September 3rd, 2022. We don't talk a lot about hell in our church, or in many Presbyterian churches for that matter. The reason for this is twofold, I think. First, the Bible itself doesn't speak a lot about it. And indeed, as I mentioned a moment ago, a word that is translated as hell in one place is translated differently in other places. And then, of course, it depends on which translation of the Bible you use. Second, most of the time that preachers talk about hell, it is for the express purpose of scaring people into belief. That's not what we do. Hell may be real, but fear is not a particularly durable basis for faith. Still, the concept is there in the Bible, and we ought to at least account for it. With that, let's get down to the very basics. There are 3 words in the Bible, 1 in Hebrew and 2 in Greek, that are often translated as hell. In Hebrew, the word is Sheol. The word is used only about 65 times in the entire Old Testament, and not every time is it translated as hell. In every case, it does refer to the place or realm of the dead, often depicted naturally as under the ground, but not every instance of Sheol in the Old Testament refers to it as a place of punishment. In many cases, Sheol is simply the place where the dead reside, while in other places it does seem to include eternal punishment. In the New Testament, there are 2 words that are often translated as hell, Hades and Gehenna. These 2 are almost exclusively used to refer to a place of punishment after death. But neither one is used all that often. Hades appears 10 times in the New Testament and Gehenna 11. But in all cases, there is only the slightest hint of what the punishment is, and it is almost invariably depicted as fire, a truly horrible thought. Honestly, our modern conception of hell owes more to the medieval Italian poet Dante Alighieri, who wrote the 3-part Divine Comedy, whose first part, Inferno, includes extremely detailed depictions of various levels of hell for specific kinds of sinners, each receiving different kinds of eternal punishment. But what is hell, really? In a word, hell is eternal separation or estrangement from God. Does that include hellfire and brimstone? Maybe. But whether it does or doesn't is beside the point. A soul separated from God in paradise for eternity is truly a tortured soul. There is one other place in the New Testament that refers to hell, though it is never translated as such, and it uses a completely different word. It appears in 1 Peter 3 and is the basis of the Apostles' Creed line, "He descended into hell." It says, "He was put to death in the flesh, but made alive in the Spirit, in which also he went and made a proclamation to the spirits in prison, who in former times did not obey, when God waited patiently in the days of Noah during the building of the ark, in which a few, that is, 8 persons, were saved through water." This is a perfect description of souls estranged from God and therefore separated from God in death. And yet here, as with several passages from the Old Testament, God is able to rescue even these souls. Psalm 139, which we'll sing this coming Sunday, is a powerful reminder of this fact. "Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there." Like I said before, a lot of Christian preaching focuses on hell in order to scare people into believing. But even if the prospect of hell induces fear, there is still Christian hope even in the face of hell. For it turns out hell is no match for God, because after all, there is no place where God does not exercise absolute sovereignty. In my book, that's pretty good news. When we return next week, we'll take up some more strange or troubling words of the Bible. Monday, the strange and enigmatic figure of Satan. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.